Hi, so today I'm going to be doing another really simple congratulations card. Just a one layer card, so it's really simple. It just has quite a bit of Spectrum Noir coloring, so it'll be a nice fun time to take out my Spectrum Noirs and get to stamping and coloring. So on this first one, I'm starting off with some Simon Says stamp. I believe it's either 110 or 120 pound white cardstock, and I'm using that because of the reason that it doesn't Spectrum Noirs and Copic markers do not bleed through. And then as you see here, I took out these stamps here. I have these stamps from Lunar Lights from Lawn Fawn, and it's a really nice stamp set. I haven't used it for a very long time, and because I'm doing some Spectrum Noir coloring today, if the whole card's only going to be using Spectrum Noirs pretty much, I'm going to be using my Memento inks because of the reason that Spectrum Noirs do not bleed your Memento inks. So Memento is pretty much the best ink to use for your Spectrum Noirs. So I'm going ahead and stamping out these lanterns here. So I'm going ahead and stamping it from left to right. I'm just going to go across the whole entire card. It's going to have 4 lanterns. And it's just a really simple design. It's a really simple card. And it turned out pretty nice to me. Now, after this, what I did for the string part of these lamps, you can either have them say on a table, or you can have them not necessarily hanging but on something, but I decided just to have them hanging. I thought it was a nice idea, so I went ahead and did that. So from the Lunar Light stamp set, it has it's a long curved stamp. But what I did is on my Fisker stamp press, I followed one of the grid lines, and I went ahead and I stretched it out a little bit, and I made it a straight, mostly straight line instead of it being curved, and that seemed to work out really nice for that nice crisp line without me having to draw in a line with either a pen and a pencil or doing all that a little bit more work. So this was just really fast and simple. I just stretched it out, made it as straight as I could do it, and just stamped it out there. And now after this, I'm going ahead and I'm going to be I took out these are like tassels for the bottom of the lamps or the lights, and I'm just going ahead and stamping the tassels on. For the more oval shaped one, I have this kind of like a regular kind of tassel, maybe on pillows and stuff, and I have this other tassel for the round ones. Then after this, I'm just going to go ahead and start getting to the actual coloring part. So now, as you see here, I have my Spectrum Noirs. I'm taking all the CTs, so CT1, CT2, CT3, and CT4, and I'm just going to be doing some really quick or Spectrum Noir coloring. It's very fast and simple. I didn't want to take so long on just coloring these lamps or lights, and then of course if you're going to give it to somebody that maybe doesn't appreciate your time making the card, so I just wanted to make it really quick and really simple too. So it shows too with Spectrum Noirs as well that they blend really easily too, that you don't have to do that much work, and it'll give you a really nice look anyway. Now I have this on real-time coloring, and I'm not going to be speeding it up, and I'm going to show all the coloring in this video. So as you see here, I'm just take the darkest marker, and I'm just going ahead and flickering it from the outside in, and just a really quick and simple coloring. Now as you see here, I'm taking CT3, and I'm just going to go in there and just see, again, I'm going really quick. I'm not worrying about getting any of those harsh lines or anything. Again, the Spectrum Noirs do really good with blending out themselves, so it's really nice and easy. You don't have to worry about doing so much blending like on a different cards. So this is just a really fast and simple. Maybe for beginners, this would be really nice for them to practice on these circular shapes and how you're gonna do the glare areas and stuff. So it's just really simple. And then as you see here with CT1, I'm just kind of blending it all out, going over all those white spots and just trying to blend it out a little bit more. Then after this, I'm just going to go back a little bit with CT3 and go ahead and try to blend out that CT4 a little bit more, just because it had a kind of harsher line with that CT4 transitioning into the CT1. So I'm just taking that CT3, going over and blending it out a little bit. And then this is pretty much my finished this first lamp. And then now I'm just going to go ahead and grab out a darker shade. So instead of going with these yellows, I went to an orange, which this is GB5. I'm just going to go ahead and color those tassels. I'm not going to worry about doing any blending or shading just because it's such a small area. Now as you see here, I'm taking out some, this is like the green blue, so I'm taking out the GT3. And it's just a really nice, it's more on the green side. I'm again doing it the exact same way as my other lantern, flicking from the outside in, and then going ahead and doing with the darker shade first with GT3, then this is GT2, and I'm just going to go ahead and try to blend that out a little bit. And it does take kind of a lot of work with these two colors, just because their colors were kind of farther apart. Now as you see here, again starting with the dark color, which is DR4, and then I'm going to go ahead and blend that out with DR2. And this one, just because it's such a little piece of the lantern, it was really quickly able to blend it out really quickly. And then after this, I'm going to go ahead and go on to the last one. Now I did forget also to do that tassel on the green lantern as well. Now another thing with DR2 and DR4, the deepness of the DR4 isn't that dark, so I just went ahead and shaded it a little bit more with the DR2 as well. Then after this, I'm just going to go ahead and color that green tassel. I'm taking GT3 and just going ahead and coloring that tassel for that lantern, and then I'm going to go on to the next one on the left. So the one on the left, I decided to go with coloring it blue. So I'm taking TB3 and then TB1 to blend that TB3 out. And then that's just a really fast and simple card. As you see here on this lantern on the left, you can see how fast I'm not worrying about blending it so much. Everything's just really simple. So I'm going ahead and just taking it, because TB1 and TB3 are kind of, their TB3 is a lot darker than TB1. It does take a little bit more effort to blend the two. So I'm just going ahead back and forth, making it just a little bit darker, and then from there flickering it from the outside in to get that really nice blending. Like I used a few shades, although I only used 2. So this is another technique if your colors are farther apart, and like me, I don't have all the Spectrum Noirs, so I can't get all the really nice blending that I would like, but at the same time it doesn't need to be perfect, so it's really fast and simple to do this. I'm just taking TB5 over there and coloring the tassel as well. Now as you see here, this is Lawn Fawn's Kohl's ABC dyes, I believe. And then I just went ahead and die cut them, and I'm just gonna be placing them on the card. But before I do that, I have this piece of vellum here, and I'm just gonna adhere that piece of vellum onto the card first, because of the reason that I thought that I wanted it to really stand out from the background. Although that I die cut them out of black, and black stands out really well on white. With those strings, it kind of distracted a little bit, so I decided to just make this and put this light. I believe it's a 40-pound vellum from Whirlwind, and I'm just putting that down. It's very subtle, but I think it makes a big impact on the card. So as you saw there, I didn't use any kind of vellum adhesive. I just used my regular tape runner, and the key is to try to rub it in as much as you can, and I can try to, on lighter cardstocks like white, it usually doesn't show up too bad, or especially if you use pattern paper, the adhesive won't show. Now this, it shows through slightly, but it's really subtle, and after I put the words on top, it won't even matter. So with using the Kohl's ABCs from Lawn Fawn, I believe that's what it's called, and then I'm just going ahead and die cutting them. I cut them out of black cardstock, the words congrats, and then I went ahead and took the exclamation point die and cut it out as well. Now as you see here, I'm taking out some multi-medium, the matte, and I'm just gonna take that because of the reason that I am just gonna be trying to adhere these letters on, but if I use any kind of glossy accents or Tombow glue, it will ooze out the size most likely. So because of that reason, I want to use something that was matte, and of course this multimedia matte is really good for doing that. So I'm just going ahead and adhering it. Now I'm using my tweezers here, and I found out that this wasn't the easiest thing to do. As you saw there, I just kind of dabbed the edges in, and then I kind of dabbed it on my Ranger craft mat, and then I went ahead and adhered it down. But still the glue kind of oozed out. Now using again the multimedia matte, it didn't matter. But at the same time, I just thought to make it a little bit easier, I tried to find a different way to do it that no glue would ooze out at all. So I went ahead and used Jennifer Maguire's technique, and I went ahead and started just to use my finger. So this is again, I'm squirting out a little bit more of the multimedia matte. I'm going ahead and I'm just using my finger here and just putting the glue, dabbing it onto the back of the letter, and I can actually put my finger over the whole entire die cut, and that really makes it easy and it sticks down. No glue oozes out the side, and it just seems to adhere really well. So this was a really good idea of doing this that Jennifer Maguire does. Now I'm just gonna adhere this A down, and then I adhere this whole congrats, this whole my words on top. Now this is really simple to do. Now I thought that it needed a little bit more than what it had, so I went ahead, and this is a Pentel, this is the medium silver metallic gel pen. So I'm going ahead and I didn't make it perfect, but what I'm doing is with the pen, to make it even stand out more the vellum, I went ahead and taking it and just going along the whole top and bottom edge of the vellum. And what this does, it just draws more attention to the words, and it just makes it stand out even more. So I'm just going ahead and making that line across the top, and then I'm going to go ahead and do it on the bottom. And as you see, it just makes it stand out a little bit more. Now this is even to make it stand out even more than that. Again, you've seen me do this before, as I go ahead and I take my, from Sakura, the clear Jelly Roll pen. That's the clear Stardust pen, and I go ahead and put it toward the bottom of I'm putting it toward the bottom of the letters, and then just going ahead with my Wink of Stella and blending that glitter out, and it just makes it really nice, and it makes it really nice and shimmery. Now what this does, it makes it look like a gradient glitter technique. So it makes the bottom, or where you first add your Stardust glitter onto it, and then the Wink of Stella, because it's weaker and it has less of a really strong glitter, that it makes it look like gradiently. So it has that really strong glitter toward the bottom, and then it shows it blend out toward the top. So this is a really nice, I really like doing this. Now you can get really quick fancy with it and do it, make it perfect. You can really perfect it, but I'm just going ahead and just doing it really fast and simple, and I just went ahead and did it to all the letters, and you can see that it really makes it stand out. I'm just adding it to the tassels as well, and I maybe would have done it to the balloons, but I think it turned out nicer without doing it, because it really makes those words stand out, and that's what you want the point to get across. Now after this, I thought I needed a little bit more, and all I did is I went ahead and took out my new We Are Memory Keepers corner chomper. I have the blue handle one. I'm just taking it out and I'm opening my hinges here. I didn't even get to use it that much. I'm going ahead and taking out the 1/2 inch side and just going ahead and punching it. It gives a really nice defined curved edge, and it really makes it look really a little bit more professional that way. And this is my finished card. So please go ahead and visit my blog at micahscrafts.blogspot.com. It'll be in the description bar below. And thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Please leave your comments below. I'm happy to answer any comments. And have a great day. Bye.